Hey guys, so for the Dancer has so many more than 7 reasons to play it that as I sat down and thought about what points exactly would I bring up in this video, I had a bit of a struggle honestly. Dancer is a job that I played last expansion a ton in Raid, and even one of my earliest super detailed ultimate job guides was on the Dancer because I enjoyed it so much. It is genuinely one of the best experiences that I've ever had in gaming. Now that isn't quite an elevator pitch though, is it? So let's do a proper elevator pitch here. Flowing through a cascade of dances, feathers, special ability procs, charging up super powerful burst finishers with huge numbers alongside them, and that is alongside a tidal wave of potent utility. The Dancer storms onto the field as the single most mobile DPS as the entire game, and it has a tool in their pocket for just about every single situation, even if that means Tracer dashing away 3 times in horror from a mechanic that is going very bad. And that is a total valid use case, and I've done that myself. But as always, if this video helps you, I'd super appreciate if you threw a set of Chakram at that like button, and can't daddy that subscribe button. Ooh, so the Dancer honestly has a lot of reasons that I'd put at number 1, but let's go with this one because this is very impactful for me. Its rotation is just never static, and I've found it quite engaging because of its variation. It's always changing, and you're going to be going through a ton of different ability procs at different times, both on the global cooldown with abilities like Cascade into Fountain, which is their 1-2 combo, and their special proc variants Reverse Cascade and Fountain Fall, where those last two have a chance to give you a feather. These feathers can then be stored up to a maximum of 4 of them, and then you can unleash them in only what I can call the most flamboyant feathery tornado explosion you could imagine. This feathery tornado explosion of flamboyancy then has a chance to go into Fandance 3. And I almost said Fandaniel there. Oh my god. Unfortunately, I can picture that in my head, and I don't know if that's a really good or really cursed thing. Probably really cursed. And on top of that, there's also the entire Esper gauge, where you have procs that build up the gauge that you can then use to unleash Saber Dance, which hits like an absolute truck. In terms of other diversity in the kit, you have Technical Step now go into Talana, and then Starfall Dance that you can use after the Devilment buff, and then a brand new Fan Dance for after using Flourish. There is just a lot of variety in the buttons pressed in the Endwalker version of Dancer. So not even mentioning your dances, which are fundamentally core parts of your rotation as a Dancer, opens up a minigame on your global cooldown where you need to hit the right steps in the right order and then finish it off with a spectacular burst of damage, with Standard Step being essential to use every 30 seconds with 2 steps, and the Technical Step every 2 minutes needing 4 steps. You're going to be doing a lot of this, and it is totally random what you're going to do. I actually really enjoy the minigame. It's kind of like a Final Fantasy XIV version of DDR. I like it actually. I play this game, I want to be thrown for a loop, and this is a loop. But in sum for this point, Dancer actively in the heat of battle is playing around with an absolute truckload of RNG effects and procs and different steps and this meter and that meter. It's actually so fun and very stimulating. Genuinely, I'm saying that. If muscle memory is something that bores you or isn't quite the thing for you, I'd 100 billion trillion% recommend check out the Dancer. Which gets into point number 2, is that it is not slow. The Dancer during its burst cycles is very involved, and sometimes you're in a position where you need to get out more feathers and your Esper gauge is too full and you need to get the Saber Dances out, and it's just a matter of trying to push out as much as you possibly can into a tiny little window of time. Even outside of burst, your off GCD space is very often being taken up by various feather procs, feather into feather 1, and then you get the feather 3 dance. Place feather with Fan Dance there, why did I say that? While I'm gonna say that the Dancer GCD itself may not be as quick as the Monk or the Ninja, there is certainly a lot in the Dancer's kit to fill in those gaps. The whole dance minigame lowers your GCD to 1 second. That is very nice. You know, I just have a lot of things that I have to say and compliment about that minigame. I really enjoy it a lot. Point 3 is that the Dancer has meaningful utility regardless of the team composition, and I mean above and beyond the fantastic all-rage DPS roll action of 10% party-wide mitigation, which they all have, but the Dancer is taking this idea many steps further than anything else. Now this is a very dangerous hot potato to get into for a small point, but what I'm going to say is Bard's Nature's Manet is extremely, brutally powerful, specifically with Scholar and deployment tactics. Otherwise, it's alright as a heal boost to a tank, but rarely when I'm on Sage do I care quite as much as I do when I'm on Scholar to line up with Bard's Nature's Manet. But universally, in every fight being useful is Dancer, which brings Curing Waltz, which is a readily accessible burst heal in an AoE for free 600 potency. That's around Cure 3's healing power, and so, to say the least, yeah, I do notice. Free of charge Cure 3? Nice. But on top of that, then you have another button on a unfortunately longer 2-minute cooldown called Improvisation that can be used to give 5 potency of area of effect healing to allies over 15 seconds. That's universally useful too. Doesn't matter the team comp, that's going to be useful. But what is also there that I'm not the biggest fan dance of is that you can hold DPS and build up a barrier with improvised finish from a minimum of a 5% barrier, which I'm going to tell you, that's usually what you're going to begin from me in the heat of battle. But let's say that you're in a rare phase transition, this can be held to 10% max HP barrier for the entire party. Likewise, this does contribute to the Dancer making up ground for the Bard specific synergy with Scholar. But the barriers obviously aren't going to be as big as that insanity, but they are reliable, team comp independent, and as much as it will start a fire in the comment section, I think Dancer from this one point could be argued to be better suited in a Sage party than a Bard. But please keep those flaming torches away. I swear I didn't mean that offensively. Coming to cancel me on Twitter. Reason 4 before I am burned to a crisp by my comment section is that the Dancer is stupidly mobile. Oh haha, low-hanging fruit, the ranged DPS is mobile. What are you gonna tell me next? Oh, how clever. You're really pulling out all the stops for this one, Cole. But what, for real, Dancer is having this, and it is a huge perk and something that I really do enjoy. It is a reason to play the Dancer. And the Dancer is literally the #1 most mobile job at the game. Nothing holds a candle to it. 3 charges of An Avant that let you zip across the battlefield is awesome. It is literally basically a plug and play tracer dash if you've ever played Overwatch, and in its current state I wouldn't recommend you play Overwatch on Overwatch video. But no job is quite to this level of mobility, and yes, Bard can leap back from boss. Yes, me on Sage makes questionable Icarus flying decisions, too often my own death. Yes, Dragoon and Red Mage can backflip off the platform if they so choose with style. But the Dancer is truly free reign mobility, and I absolutely love it for it, and it is very much worthy of being on this list. Now, reason number 5. Guys, I'm going to warn you, you might need to sit down and brace yourselves for this one, because if you've played Dancer or played with one, this will be mind-blowing. Dancer is bringing a disgusting amount of party buffs to the group, and this is incredibly great for group morale. I'm not going to make this a morale video, but you know, a happy group is the group that stays together. It's the group that clears together. One thing in particular that makes Dancer keenly powerful in this department is that its buffs are primarily focused on one party member. So if you are in Party Finder with a friend that you know is good, you know your buffs are largely going to be extremely well represented and used, and that you're not going to waste a bunch of basically giving away your own DPS to other allies on people who are dying or are eating vuln stacks like they're candy, or just not representing your raid buff contribution well, and obviously leading to potentially seeing enrage more likely. Power of choosing who that you are buffing is very, very powerful and a huge perk of Dancer over Bard. Also, if that player that you dance with died, you can dance partner the next high-performing DPS of the group, or Dark Knight if you're feeling sassy. Reason 6 is that you boost the entire group's morale. You're bringing a massive spike burst of damage because Dancer's burst potential in opener and a burst widow is ludicrous, letting you get off some incredibly good pinch DPS spikes, especially if you go in with nearly full Esprit and full feathers. Good god, you bring damage buffs on top of that. You have a host of other party utility. Your mobility allows you to better sort through mechanics, and honestly makes Dancer a fantastic job to help the group as a whole as prog. Not only yourself, but like the entire group, because I have in the past not only corrected my own mistakes, I've also used my excessive mobility to course correct other people's mistakes and try and minimize damage. But really, you are the whole package. Damage buffs, mitigation buffs, tons of healing, barriers if needed, mobility, silences if the next raid tier actually has a mechanic that needs it. Yes, please, please, UCP. And basically, you have it all. The Dancer has a lot, and people know it. Now, reason 7 is what some might call a cop-out, but genuinely I feel is a fantastic reason, hence why it made the cut for this list, is it's the Dancer aesthetic. It is a very, very unique type of job in gaming, and it's not something that you see. It's so rarely something that you see anything close to. Every game has some type of mage, some type of war, some type of archer. What is the hell is this dancing thing? Like, good lord, the flavor has been so well woven into the lore, the feather dances, the dancing minigames, the speedy movement. Everything is so fresh and crisp and unique on the Dancer that even though it's a whole new expansion, I still find this aesthetic fresh, fun, and gaming. And yeah, with that point done, that does it for this video. And yeah, Dancer has a ton going for it, to say the absolute least. So do I recommend Dancer? Hands down, easily 100% yes, absolutely yes. Dancer's refreshing, never static, flowing, always changing, weaving in and out, back and forth. Dancer is so fun. I wholeheartedly recommend anyone and everyone to check it out. Now that's it for this one. Please take care everyone and have an absolutely beautiful day because you deserve it.